Here we are, clearing the issues, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in the state. Everybody out here knowing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to code, shop for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same power at your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Make it down here, I'm like the voice TV.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to drvoicetv.com. This is the home for intelligent Black people. So if you're Black and intelligent, say something in the chat. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please share this to your Facebook page. Everybody who's watching on Facebook, what's going on? I see Michelle Martin. Hey, Michelle. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Kenya, BC. Let's see. I see Belvernetta. I hope I didn't mispronounce your name, sister. Anyway, let's jump into the topic for today. Actually, I'm gonna be quick. I'm not even gonna like drag it on at all. Because I know sometimes I get Negroes with short attention spans who complain that I give too much nuance and that I go too deep into the topic, and so I'm still going to be nuanced. I'm still going to go deep. But what I'm going to do is for the Negroes that got short attention span, for the yellow bus kids in the room, or for the people who can't pay attention for longer than 3 minutes, I'm going to give you the short and the long of it, and then I'm going to give you the details. I'll give you the Dr. Boyce breakdown after that. Let's start here. Did anybody give me a yes or no in the chat if you are aware of the crazy and terrible incident that happened at Clark Atlanta University? Or give me a yes or no in the chat if you're aware of what happened. It was a terrible situation that ended up being a homicide. Poor little girl got killed. It looks like, based on what police are saying, they are alleging that the young lady's roommate and her boyfriend conspired to commit this homicide, which is just crazy. I mean, it really bothers me. You know, I've been a college professor for a long time. I taught on a lot of different college campuses, and I've seen a lot of things. You know, you'd be amazed at all the things that happen on college campuses, and a lot of times you don't hear about a lot of them because they try to disconnect the university from a lot of the crime. A lot of universities artificially inflate their crime statistics to make their campuses appear safer. And the way they'll do it is, for example, if you get killed in an apartment that's close to campus, but you don't officially live on campus, then they might come back and say, well, this didn't happen on our campus, so it's not in our wheelhouse. We have no responsibility. So they'll not report that in the crime statistics. A lot of universities will do that. And I think it's important as parents, any of y'all sending your kids to college, any of y'all might be going to college or whatever the case may be, it's important for you to just understand, you know, a lot of universities are right in the middle of the hood. Not just like a rough neighborhood, a working class. I'm not talking about the hood. Yale is located in the hood. Syracuse University was located in the hood. It doesn't mean that those people in the hood are bad, but y'all know what it is. Y'all know that sometimes stuff in the hood happens that just ain't cool. And but it ain't always hood people doing this stuff. In this particular case, it looks like this young lady's roommate, either, I don't know what the hell her background is, but it's just crazy. So anyway, let me pull up the story. I'm gonna read this to you. Please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't done it yet, please hit the thumbs up button, and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. Very important to do that. All right, so here I'm gonna read this to you. We'll start from the beginning and then we'll kind of dig into it. This is an update on what happened in that case. The roommate of slain 21-year-old Clark Atlanta University student was denied bond Thursday after it was found that she planned to leave the state. Fulton County Judge Rachel Krause and Jordan Jones said that Jordan Jones, who is a suspect, posed a significant flight risk after it was revealed that hours after Alexis Crawford's death, she withdrew from school and was planning to move back home to Michigan with her parents. Jones also tried to contact witnesses in the case. So here you go. You got a situation where a young lady named Alexis Crawford was missing, and her family was looking for her. And so, of course, you know, being as parents of a college student, you're going to go to ask your child's roommate, hey, have you seen my daughter? What's going on? We haven't seen her in a while. And apparently, according to the police, at least what's being alleged is that she wasn't being truthful, that she was basically telling a bunch of lies, that she was kind of making things up. And it's interesting because I was talking to Alicia and I said, really sometimes you ever have times where you just wonder what goes through the mind of an 18-year-old, and then you're like, what the hell, like, did you think you were really going to get away with this? There's so many different ways they have to catch you. But then I thought about it. I said, I was stupid at 18 too. And I don't not say I would have killed anybody. I wouldn't have. There's probably people I wanted to kill. I did have a roommate that I don't know anybody go to college and just like really like literally like fantasize about beating the living shit out of your roommate. Anybody ever have a roommate like that? I had a roommate with these. I was roommates with a couple of white dudes from the swim team, and they were just the biggest pack of pricks ever. And I remember one day having a baseball bat, and I was literally like that dude was about to walk through that door. And because he kept coming in the room and he would slam the door in the middle of the night because they would all get drunk. Because everybody likes to get white boy wasted and stuff in college. I don't know why everybody thinks college is a place you're supposed to just drink all day. And they would come in 3 o'clock in the morning and make all this damn noise. And here I was, I'm trying to go to class. I'm trying to actually make good grades. I was a good student in college. I took my future very seriously. And they were just messing it up. And I remember, my mom was kind of a little bit hood, and not hood no more because she's 67. She just turned 66. She just turned 66 today, actually. Say happy birthday to my mama, please. And I remember my mama was like, well, you get you a baseball bat and you tell them they can't come in the room. And if they try to come in, you get to whoop an ass. So I was really about to take that baseball bat upside their head. And thank God she called me back and she said, no, we're not gonna handle it like this. I want you to go to the dean's office and report them. And we reported them, they got kicked out. But things happen, right? My point is that things happen. I remember when my kids went off to college, I remember them getting into issues with their roommates. So these roommate fights happen. Obviously, they don't typically get to this level. They don't go this far. And I think that to some extent, I wonder how much of this is a reflection of how our children have changed. I mean, you got to remember a lot of our children have gone through a tremendous amount of trauma at a very early age. Maybe they got parents on drugs, parents that were never around because they were incarcerated. They spent their whole lives being indoctrinated into hip hop music and other things that the worst kind of music. Hip hop is a beautiful art form, but it ain't always beautiful. Hip hop is a powerful art form. And sometimes that power is not used for a good purpose. And so ultimately, my point is to say that, when you look at kind of what happened here, you really see a situation where it sounds like a roommate dispute that went a little bit too far to the point where somebody really thought they could murder their roommate and not get caught. And I wonder if her bouncing out and planning to leave the state and go back to Michigan was her way of kind of saying, I'm scared, I'm a kid, I want to go home to my mama or whatever. And then I wonder about this boyfriend. I know that the assumption we always want to make is that it's the boyfriend who manipulated the girlfriend into doing something crazy. I'm not with that. I'm not with that because I think that we're all responsible for our choices. Whether you made a bad decision due to love or jealousy or whatever it is, you're responsible, right? So this idea, this image that people have in our heads that, oh, she was probably manipulated by her boyfriend, while that is certainly possible, we don't know that for sure. So anyway, let me read more. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done that. Please hit the thumbs up button. Some of you asking about my t-shirt. We actually have a t-shirt line at wokeblacktees.com, W-O-K-E, wokeblacktees.com. So feel free to go to wokeblacktees.com and grab your shirt. All right. Jones and her boyfriend, Baron Brantley, so he's 21. Oh, actually, they're both 21, are both charged with felony murder in the death of Crawford in Atlanta, Georgia. Prosecutors revealed that a rape kit administered on Crawford days before her disappearance tested positive for Brantley's semen. So prosecutors revealed that a rape kit administered on Crawford days before her disappearance tested positive for Brantley's semen. So we know that the two had sex. We don't know if a rape occurred. There's not evidence of that yet, right? We could say that there might have been a rape. There's certainly a homicide, but we don't know if there was a rape. Prosecutors said Jones attempted to conceal evidence when she contacted Crawford's family members and told them there was no DNA found in the rape kit. So basically what they're saying is that Miss Jones, who was the first defendant in this situation, Jordan Jones, that she was telling the family that there was no semen in the rape kit when actually there was. So she was lying to the family, according to the police, according to the media. Now, here's the part that just really bothered me in terms of what happened here. I mean, just the graphicness of it. If I'm Clark Atlanta, I'm real concerned right now because I know as a parent, I would not feel safe sending my children to any school where something like this would happen. But here's the other thing, too, in defense of Clark Atlanta. I remember even when I was at Syracuse University, where they've got all these crazy racial incidents happening, right? They happen every year. It's not like this is a bad year for Syracuse. This is a typical year for Syracuse. But there are lots of campuses where crazy things happen. And I remember when I was at Syracuse, I remember a guy got mad at his girlfriend or something, and he like, or maybe she was pregnant or it was something stupid, and he killed her and like put her body in a suitcase and threw in the dumpster, which is crazy. I also remember when I was at Indiana University, I remember there was a guy who I guess he loved his girlfriend, and he hitchhiked all the way from California to Indiana so that he could murder her in the dorm. So campus homicides happen on a more regular basis than you might think, and so it's kind of sad to see when it does. Anyway, new details about the killing emerged during a preliminary hearing for Brantley on Friday. Brantley was also denied bond. So Brantley is the male suspect. His first name is Barron. So you got Barron Brantley. I'm gonna write these names down so we don't get any names wrong, because I certainly would hate to. I would never want to actually call the victim the defendant. Alexis Crawford is the victim. So I want to make sure you keep that clear. So the night of, let's see, here we go. Let's see, days before she vanished, Crawford filed a police report that described unwanted kissing and touching from Brantley, police said. The alleged sexual assault took place on October 26, according to court testimony on Friday. After the report was filed, Jones, who was the roommate of Miss Crawford, secretly allowed Brantley to stay in her bedroom without Crawford's knowledge, said Detective Michael Young of the Atlanta Police Department. And so, one of the things that this makes me think about, because sometimes you always look in situations like this, you try to figure out what can we learn from? Like what about this is typical enough that there is something that you can learn from? And I think one thing I'm picking up from this based on what I've seen in my life is when you run into a crazy motherfucker, you got to take that shit serious. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean people can't be redeemed. It doesn't mean people don't make mistakes. But when you're dealing with somebody who does something like a rape or whatever, we as a society have to take that seriously. Meaning, if you're a victim of somebody and he punches you one time, I don't really know. I mean, just know that if you forgive and forget, you are taking a chance that something worse is going to occur, right? I really wonder if Miss Crawford could have been saved if people had moved a little faster to help protect this young lady. I really wonder if everything was done to make sure she was safe. We certainly know the roommate violated things, but the roommate's young and stupid, right? The roommate, maybe she's in love with this man and she's just doing stupid stuff and defending somebody who's not worth defending. But I'm just trying to figure out if she's accusing him of rape. I'm just trying to process, how he got back in the house, how he got within any distance of her whatsoever. That's the part I'd like to know. If I was an administrator at Clark Atlanta University, a school that I respect, it's a good school. I know a lot of great people went to that school. I'd like to know how that happened, how you can prevent that. Days before she vanished, Crawford filed a police report. Okay. After the report was filed, Jones secretly allowed Brantley to stay in her bedroom without Crawford's knowledge. The night of Crawford's death, Jones and Crawford got into a physical fight. So again, another warning sign, right? So you're physically fighting with the girl who's dating the guy who raped you. At that point, it's kind of unfortunate somebody else wasn't involved at that point. Roommates fight all the time, and it's really sad to me. I don't know how much of this is typical of the generation just being different, but I remember, when my daughter was in college, and I remember the fight that the way she had a roommate from Detroit or something who was really, 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 really gangster, like really just doing stuff that was like over the top. Like, has anybody noticed? Give me a yes or no. Yes or no. Have you noticed that it seems like young girls have just gotten very dudeish in their behavior? Like when you ever watch some of these fights on World Star? Like I was telling my mother, actually, me and my mom would talk, and it was her birthday. And I called her. I always saying happy birthday to my mama, so I sang happy birthday. We talked for a minute, and I was telling my mother about World Star. We always talk about fights. Like I grew up with, we had fights when I was a kid. My mama would tell me about fights she had. My daddy would have fights. We all had fights. But I said, you know, Mama, I said, there's something different about this generation, I think, because I told her about World Star, how it's become a thing, like World Star, World Star. And she talked about how when they were little, when everybody knew there was a fight, everybody would be like, fight, fight, fight. And they knew exactly where to go to see the fight, right? And I was joking. I said, yeah, that's where Don King got his start, right? He's selling tickets for the big fight in the schoolyard after school. Everybody wants to see it. But I said, now it's kind of different. Now it's just different. And I don't know if it's social media, you know, because you can become a fucking celebrity off that shit. I mean, anybody remember Sharkeisha? Anybody remember the Sharkeisha fight on World Star? SHARK, Sharkeisha. I don't know how to spell the rest. I can't. I can only go that far with Ebonics, right? But Sharkeisha was a girl who, and I'm just being stupid because my sister's name is Latanja, so we all a little ratchet with the way. Well, actually, no, that's not ratchet. That's a beautiful name, actually. So we're creative. How about that? Let's say that, because I'm not going to diss my own people, unless we need to be dissed, right? Anyway, but Sharkeisha was talking to some girl, and there were two 13-year-olds, two 12-year-olds, whatever age they were, and they were talking about a boy. And she was like, I heard you talking to my boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. And the girl was trying to explain her way out of it. And out of the blue, Sharkeisha just reaches back and just punches this girl in the face like a man. I mean, gives her the biggest haymaker in her face. And the girl's glasses fly off her face. And she falls to the ground. And the girl's just kicking her over and over. And then she backs up like she's kicking a field goal in the Super Bowl. Like she looked like somebody that played for the New England Patriots or something, and backs up and gets a running start and kicks this girl as hard as she could in her face, to the point where this child could have got brain damage. She could have killed her. She could have murdered her in that kick with that kick. And here's what's really fascinating too. This is what's really fucked up about it. Both of these little girls became overnight internet sensations. Both of these little girls, one who murdered or damn near murdered another child, the other one who got beat into next Tuesday, are both like getting thousands of Instagram followers, a bunch of other kids and a bunch of grown ass people who think that shit is cool. And they're like happy. They're like, I'm famous now. Look at me. I'm internet famous now. And I'm thinking, my God, we live in a really interesting world. This is crazy. And the other thing I see is I told my mom, I said, I bet you every nickel in my pocket, neither one of these girls had a daddy at home. I bet you, and I think that's part of it too. I think a lot of these young girls are angry because they don't have fathers in the house. And so they're just kind of pissed off and they're running around acting like dudes, because I got two girls in my house and they're girly girls, number one. And if they did get into a fight, it would only go so far. The behavior would only go to a certain limit. It wouldn't get to the point where they're engaged in what would be defined as almost masculine behavior, right? And I'm not, it's just something about it. Something about the father being there as the enforcer, as the authority figure, that allows young girls to still remain feminine and not feel like they have to have the biggest penis in the room. Right. So I don't know. Give me a yes or no if you agree with me. It just seems that there's something about the way the kids fight each other, like where the fights like they'll never end. Like you try to break it up. Like, back in the day you could break it. You'd be like, okay, break it up. Now apologize, shake hands, right? And they'd be like, okay. And they shake hands, and next thing you know, they're friends again. Some of these kids be ready to kill. Like, I mean, it's real interesting to watch. I'm like, you still really want to murder. Like, you really want to like get a knife and cut her throat. Are you kidding me right now? Like, do you know what that's gonna, do to your future? Like, you're gonna go to jail for that, right? And it's interesting, it is crazy because it's like I remember talking to a young lady, like two young girls I used to mentor got into a fight like that, and I remember one of them was like, I was like, are you crazy? Like, why are you still trying to fight? Like, this is ridiculous. And she's like, I don't care. The streets say that if somebody disrespect you, you'll go kick that ass. I don't care what the streets say. And I'm like, man, the streets, you really gonna go to prison because what the streets say? Like, seriously, like people really got this whole like street code shit to a fault. There's a whole lot of people that are going to die in prison because they were trying to honor some imaginary street code that told them they're supposed to fight to the death because somebody stepped on your shoe. And so I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think there's something about media or something that's happening that's causing our kids to be a little bit different from what they were in the past. But every generation is different. We know this, right? But something about this, it's broken families, low self-esteem, all that stuff tying in together that's creating like these really crazy situations. So where you have stuff like this. For every student that's actually killed, there's probably a bunch of attempted murders that almost made the national news. There's probably a bunch of other situations that almost got to the point where somebody got killed, right? This is just one that's getting your attention because it actually, like somebody actually died. But there are plenty of other situations where somebody almost died and they didn't die, so everybody thinks it's okay. So anyway, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button and hit the notification bell. And if you're on Facebook, please share this to your page if you haven't done that yet. All right, and by the way, actually on Facebook, I'm going to actually turn off the Facebook Connect in a minute. So if you want to actually finish watching the video, just go to drboystv.com on YouTube, and you can finish watching it there. I'm going to have to shut down the Facebook feed in 1 second. All right, so let's see here. The night of Crawford's death, Jones and Crawford got into a physical fight, according to court documents obtained by CNN. It was at that point Crawford discovered Brantley was staying there when he came out of Jones' room and choked her in the early morning hours of October 31st. So apparently the two girls got into a fight. The dude came out and he started choking her. Now, this is interesting. This tells me that they're at a point where they're now cooperating with the police. Now they've all kind of gone Tekashi 6ix9ine on it because, everybody won't be gangster until the consequences get real. And then at that point, suddenly you're the most cooperative witness in the world. So I'm imagining that what's going on right now is that they're talking to the cops, and the cops are basically getting all the information they need about what happened because they're piecing it together in a very detailed way. Young testified. So Young is, hold up. Give me a second. There's Allison Crawford, Jordan Jones, and Baron Brantley. Who's Young? Is Young, did I miss? Give me 1 second, guys. Hit the thumbs up button for me real quick. I'm trying to figure out who Young is because I remember a Young. Somebody tell me who Young is. Oh, Detective Michael Young of the Atlanta Police Department. Okay. So Detective Young testified after Brantley was taken into custody. He told authorities. So Brantley, the dude, Brantley's the man in the picture. He told authorities that while choking Crawford, quote, she was struggling to breathe and had the sound of agony. Jones then, so that's the female roommate then put a plastic bag over her head. The couple put Crawford's body in a bin and cleaned blood from the living room, Young said. I'm really wondering also if they were under the influence of something. Like, I wonder if they've been smoking, drinking, or whatever. And this is one of the reasons why, when I was at Syracuse University campus, I remember I fought like hell to get them to do something to at least stop encouraging students to drink. I felt that they weren't doing enough to discourage alcohol and drug consumption on campus. They kind of act like it's no big deal. And first of all, I was offended because as a black man, I know plenty, I know people that have been locked up for like small amounts of weed and stuff like that. If they were to raid a college campus on a Friday night, they'd have a whole new mass incarceration epidemic off of that shit. And I remember the problem that I had was that I felt that you had a lot of young people who were being led to drugs and alcohol who do stupid things, and then later on they regret it. And the reason that we fail them as adults is because we never sat around and really gave them a serious warning about the consequences, like the things that can actually happen. Like we don't really sit them down and like tell them like, this is the shit that can happen in your life if you do something stupid while you're drunk. You can get raped. You can end up hurting somebody. You might, lots of dudes go to the club, somebody steps on your shoe, and because you got a gun and you feel full of liquor, you really think you can go pull out that gun, and in 1 second you've ruined your life. Now your grandkids are gonna have to visit you in a jail cell. You got a fucking newborn baby. I know a lot of guys like that. Had little 2-year-old child at home. Now the child's like 25, 30 years old and got kids on their own. Ain't none of them seen the daddy as a free man because he's still locked up because he shot somebody in the club in 1992. That's really depressing. That's really sad. Think about this. One moment in 1992 caused you to miss all of the 90s, all of the 2000s, and all of the 2010s. I think that's about the most devastating shit imaginable. And I think it's unfortunate that we don't spend more time warning young people about this. So I encourage everybody who's smart, talk to your damn kids, man. Talk to your kids about it. Like, just be honest with them. Tell them these stories because you don't want to be telling them these stories from a jail cell. You don't want them to learn the hard way because you wanted to fit in and you didn't want to seem like you were being too nerdy by or whatever. Like people think I'm. That's what people think about. They think I'm a nerd or they think I'm too serious. Like, oh, you're too serious, boys. Let them have fun. But no, do you understand how many people die over this shit? Do you see how many people's lives get ruined over this? Have you ever had like an alcoholic in your family and what that's like to have an alcoholic as a role model? Like, no, we need to have serious conversations. So I don't even know if they were drinking or smoking or high or whatever, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was going on, but maybe that's not. Maybe they were just mad. Either way, it's just sad because I really feel sorry for all these young people. I feel sorry for all of them, especially the victim. The victim obviously is the one I feel the most sorry for, but I also feel sorry. I look at the pictures of these kids and they are scared to death. You look at their mug shots and they are scared to death. Like they don't look like hardened thug criminals that like knew what they were getting into. They look like some young kids who really thought, at least the young ladies do, and the guy does too. They look like young kids who really thought they was gonna go to college and have a good life after they were done. You know, they really look like they were really trying to like, you know, like think that they could actually like get past this, you know, and I just think it's very sad. It just kind of breaks my heart actually, to be honest with you. Not to say I don't have empathy and sympathy for the victim, but it does break my heart. And I'm not gonna lie about that. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're on Facebook, I'm about to shut this down now. If you want to finish the conversation, go to drboystv.com. That's drboystv.com. That's my YouTube channel. Go over there, make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna have to shut this down in 3, 2, 1, and see you later, Tammy and Alto Beast and Max. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Peace. All right, so let's keep going. Let's finish up and drill deeper into the story real quick. And as I'm reading, I'll just kind of give you my take on it in terms of what I'm seeing, you know, based on what's being said here. Okay, all right. So all right, next, let me read more here. I'm reading from CNN. The couple put Crawford's body in a bin and cleaned the blood from the living room. So once again, you know, being young and stupid, they really thought that they could just, you know, wash the blood away and that the cops wouldn't see it. You know, that the cops don't have actual special devices and DNA kits and shit where they could find blood. They really thought they could just wash it up and it would all go away. After dumping Crawford's body around in a wooded area at Exchange Park in DeKalb County, Jones and Brantley returned to the apartment and slept. They attended a Halloween party later that evening. So they went out and party. I don't know if they were trying to look normal, like they didn't just murder somebody, didn't just murder her roommate and strangle her to death, or if they were, you know, or if they really just thought that, or if they thought that maybe just, I don't know if they were just trying to either act normal or they really thought they could move on with their lives. And I see that a lot where a young person will do something very serious and really think that you can easily come back from that. And I think it's important for them to also understand that some things you just can't come back from. Some shit you do, you can't undo it. So let's see. Jones took police to the body's location. So Jones was the roommate, Jordan Jones, who killed Alexis Crawford with her boyfriend Baron Brantley, according to the police. She took them to the location of the body. So I don't even know if it's even appropriate to use the term alleged in this. I mean, we know that they did it because they took the police to the dead body. When investigators searched the apartment, they sprayed luminol and found blood in at least 6 different places in the living room. Young said surveillance video from the parking garage where Crawford and Jones lived showed Jones and Brantley pulling Jones's car up to the door that leads to the apartment. Young, the detective, said he believes Crawford's body was loaded into the car at that time. Young said when investigators confronted Jones with this information on November 8th, she told police about the killing. So she confessed when the police confronted her about what they had. Like, so basically they were like, okay, she's 21. She's a little college girl. She ain't ready for prison life. So we're just gonna go ahead and let her know, like, we got you. We already have this. Jones was accompanied by her father when she led police to Crawford's body. So she went and got her dad, which I can't imagine how this poor man must feel. I think that's got to be terrible. Young's testimony gave Fulton County Judge Todd Ashley reason to find probable cause and move forward with murder, aggravated assault, and concealing a death charge against Brantley. Brantley's next court appearance is scheduled for January 10th. So what do you guys think about this? I mean, what do you guys think? Throw some comments in there, and I'll look at some of your comments because I just know that this bothers me, and I feel like it's you know, very sad. It's a sad day for Clark Atlanta University. I'm sure that they have to do a lot of grief counseling on campus. I think that it's I hope that this isn't sort of indicative of any larger picture sort of issue, right? In terms of the way young people are handling disputes. You know, I don't know. I mean, bad things happen in every generation. You know, in our generation, when we were younger, we had situations where young people got killed and stuff like that. So I'm not here to say that it's something that's just something you overlook or if it's something that's indicative of the generation. But I really do wonder if there's something that's happening with our young ladies where they're just not quite built the same because they're going through so much at an early age. I think the bullying is unbelievable. I do know a lot of young ladies. I know several families that have been victims of or had their children commit suicide over cyberbullying. I encourage you to watch how your children engage on social media because social media can be quite devastating for young people. I mean, even in my 40s, it's like you get so much shit thrown at you. You know, for me, because I have a lot of followers and you have a lot of opinions and whatever out there, you know, and then if you're not balanced, like it can drive you crazy, right? But I'm pretty much like, okay, I know what to ignore and what to pay attention to, but I can't imagine going through that if I were 12. You know, if I were 12, 13, or 14, it's easy to think it's the end of the world because people are saying bad things about you or whatever. And so I encourage you to be cautious and to train your children on these sorts of things, and also to train them to tell an adult. You know, when stuff like this gets out of hand, like I really wish my greatest victims, obviously, or excuse me, my greatest sympathy is obviously for the victim, the suspects. I think they deserve some degree of sympathy, but they also deserve a prison sentence. But they're young, they're children. In my mind, they're kids to me. I'm sorry, I know they're adults, but you know, I don't think that they are automatically, unconditionally, always bad people. But then again, though, you know, you commit a crime, you got to pay the price for that. I really wish, though, that the young lady who died, Alexis Crawford, I wish that she had gotten an adult involved or an older adult involved sooner so that they could tell her about the warning signs. Because I've known women who've been murdered by men before, and I've known situations where the woman had warning signs where he did something. He tried to kill her once or twice. He beat her ass a couple times. He threatened to kill her a few times. She told, and then in some cases, what's really terrible is she might even tell the police. I know one lady where she told the cops, like, he's gonna kill me. If you don't help me, he's gonna kill me. And guess what? He came and killed her. And so I think that says for all of us as a community, number one, you know, we got to really encourage the idea of really protecting women. But then two, I think we got to encourage women to also accept the protection and support from men and to see the value in that, right? Like Nomalanga Mushali Moses was talking about how, you know, you can't, you know, she said the same women that say we don't need men, men are garbage, men are toxic, get them away from us, are the women who say men are predators, men are preying on us, right? They're doing these horrible things to us. So she was basically saying, if you see men as the predators that you fear, then you must see them as the protectors that you need, right? You can't see us as just predators without also seeing some of us as protectors. So, you know, I personally think that, you know, that we've got to kind of rethink this in terms of what it means to protect women. But I also think as men, you know, I think stepping up is important. And I think just, I mean, of course, you can't talk a killer out of being a killer, right? There's some guys who are just going to do terrible things to people, and there's nothing you can say to them about it. But at the same time, though, I think when you see these things happen, you got to say something, do something, get involved in some way, and make sure women are supported and protected in whatever way you can help. So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. I see some of you are asking, is the Black Business School accredited? We're accredited by the Black community. Our goal is not to get into the standard white economic ecosystem. We're just not interested in that because we're not here to train you on how to go get a job working for somebody. Like that's unless it's a Black-owned business. You know, and there are plenty of universities out there for that, right? You can go to, you know, Indiana University or the University of Connecticut or something, and they're going to charge you $100,000 or whatever, and then they're going to give you a piece of paper that will let you go work for a big white business. We believe actually in something a little bit different. We believe in what we call the Black Core of Three, which means that Black people should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support Black businesses. And we also focus specifically on the three pillars of wealth, which is stock and bond investing, real estate investing, and entrepreneurship. Those are the three ways that people gain wealth in this country. And we believe that by mastering those three areas of wealth at an early age, our children can actually become extremely wealthy in the very near future. In fact, that's what we encourage you all to do is get your children before you sign up for football camp, basketball camp, baseball camp, and all this other stuff, cheerleading camp, you know, dance school, whatever it is, put them in programs for business so they can learn how to make money. So that because money is the number one problem that Black people have. Money is the number one thing that blocks us from liberation. So my argument is that if something is your number one problem, then that should be your number one focus. Once you solve that problem, once you solve the money problem, then almost every other racial problem goes away. I can tell you this. If you're a Black person that has a pocket full of money in a bank account that's got some M's in it or some property or whatever, you don't have to fear white people as much as somebody who needs white people in order for them to feed their children. All right, so that's just my 2 cents. All right, where do I go to teach my daughter calculus? We don't teach calculus, but there are programs out there for children. You may want to just go online and find some children's programs, or maybe go to one of these sites where the gig sites and hire somebody that could be a tutor for your child, Tammy. I encourage you to do it. One of the differences that my mama made for me is my mama grew up. She always jokes that like she grew up as like a quote unquote hood rat, but she didn't call it a hood. She wouldn't call herself a hood rat. She called herself I forgot what she said, but she was like basically she was like from the projects. Like she was not like a person born with a silver spoon in her mouth. And but the thing was, one thing my mother always did was she was always looking for special programs to put us in that would give us an advantage. Even when our grades were bad, we were always in these special programs. I mean, me and my siblings, we all had bad grades in school, but my sister's a doctor. Now she makes a lot of money. My brother went to Cornell University and he runs his own business. He does very well. I do well. And none of our friends did well. And a lot of it came down to the fact that we had a mother and a father. My father was a disciplinarian, and he basically taught us no excuses, like stop bitching, don't run here complaining about how hard things are. You just get it done. My mother was the one who told us the value of education. And so in our household, I can tell you this, one thing that made a difference in our household is that personal responsibility was extremely important. There was no like Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, like, oh, you have a million excuses because you're a black man. No, it was like, no, you're black. It's going to be harder. Bust your butt. Keep working hard. That's what it is. So anyway, how do I contact you, says Tim? You can email my manager. Her email address is manager@boycewatkins.com. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't do any I do consultations. They're not free. But if you want me to consult with your business, I do consult with black businesses and they do get their money's worth. So if you are interested in doing a consultation, you can email her at manager@boycewatkins.com. Just put consultation in the subject line. It's not cheap, but it does make a difference. I consulted a young lady the other day who started a natural makeup care line. And when we got done, I said, "Do you feel like you benefited? Do you feel like you got more than your money's worth of this?" She said, "Absolutely." And I know she got her money's worth because I'm actually going to help her. I'm going to help her market her business and all these things. So basically, at the end of the day, that's what it is. So Queen Pudding says, "I like the fact that you're real." Well, I like the fact that you appreciate the fact that I'm real. Not everybody loves that, but that's who I am, and I can't be nothing else. I ain't trying to spend my whole life pretending. All right, guys. So I'm about to go. Once again, if you want shirts like this, we have cool black T-shirts. We have a lot of cool ones like this. You can go to wokeblacktees.com, WOKE. That's wokeblacktees.com. And Tim, if you'd like help with your finances, go to theblackbusinessschool.com, THE. That's theblackbusinessschool.com. We've got experts right there on the line that can guide you to programs that we have that are very low cost that can help you get started on your financial future. In fact, it's better than college. So if you haven't gone to college yet, if you're thinking about getting an MBA or a master's degree, save yourself $50,000 and just come over and learn from us. And our programs don't cost you more than it costs you to go see the Black Panther or whatever, right? So just go, please check it out. I think you'll love it. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good night. How do I feel about the communication classes from college? I took a few. It depends on who's teaching it, but I think communications is important. A lot of things, though, you can learn online, though. Honestly, if somebody said, well, I don't want to go to college, how can I get something better than a college education without going to college? I say it's actually quite easy. And actually, it's probably more effective because you can learn exactly what you want to learn and it won't cost you a bunch of money. A lot of college graduates, unfortunately, are getting body slammed because they can't pay the student loans. Universities leave them in debt and don't give them what they paid for. So I'm honestly a believer that we got to think beyond college. I don't think college is what it used to be. That's just my 2 cents. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Take care. Have a good day. And thank you guys for your positive comments. I appreciate it very much. Please hit that thumbs up button before you go. That's very important. My Instagram, what's up on Instagram? My Instagram is The Real Voice Watkins. So feel free to follow me on Instagram at The Real Voice Watkins. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. See you soon. Peace.